Hello, so welcome to Soup Podcast with our guest, me, and Bugui, and our host, Mai.
Hi.
Truly amazing.
Alright, time for you to read this episode. We're just gonna listen to Bugui read The Little Prince at 4 a.m. or like, what time is it at where you are?
Yes, for him, 3:52.
Oh, alright, 4 a.m. Never a better time to read.
Oh boy, 4 a.m. Wait,
Oh boy.
what does Patrick say in English?
Oh, 4 3 a.m. A perfect time for a Krabby Patty? Is that it?
Yes, thank you.
Time to read.
Time to read. Okay, what do you want me to read? The announcement?
No, let's start at chapter 1.
Okay, chapter 1. We are. Oh no, wait, that's the wrong thing. Chapter 1. No, what the fuck?
That's
We
the
are
title.
introduced to
That's
the
the title.
narrator, a pilot, and his ideas about grown-ups. Okay.
Okay.
From the get-go, I want to say these images are a bit interesting.
You can describe them if you want.
That's fine, I'll just read. Okay, let's see. Once when I was 6 years old, I saw a magnificent picture in a book called True Stories from Nature about the primeval, how do you pronounce that?
Primeval.
Primeval forest. It was a picture of a boa constrictor in the act of swallowing an animal. Here is a copy of the drawing. I don't think this is the actual book.
What are you
Or
talking
is
about?
it?
That is the picture. That is a copy of the drawing.
This is the actual book?
This is obviously the PDF version of the book.
And translate the original is French.
Would you prefer to read it in French?
Yeah, French. No, wait,
Alright.
Christ, okay, can we cut all of this from the podcast, or is it going to be one continuous thing?
What do
People
you
can
want?
hear me fail.
Just
No,
keep
it's fine.
going. It doesn't have to
Okay.
be perfect.
Okay, so here's a copy of the drawing. In the book it said, boa constrictors swallow their prey whole without chewing it. After that, they are not able to move, and they sleep through the 6 months that they need for digestion. I pondered deeply, then, over the adventures of the jungle, and after some work with a colored pencil, I succeeded in making my first drawing. My drawing number 1. It looked like this. And there's the drawing. I showed my masterpiece to the grown-ups and asked them whether the drawing frightened them. But they answered, frightened? Why would anyone be frightened by a hat? My drawing was not a picture of a hat. It was a picture of a boa constrictor digesting an elephant. But since the grown-ups were not able to understand it, I made another drawing. I drew the inside of the boa constrictor so that the grown-ups could see it clearly. They always need to have things explained. My drawing number 2 looked like this. The grown-ups' response this time was to advise me to lay aside my drawings of boa constrictors, whether from the inside or the outside, and devote myself instead to geography, history, arithmetic, and grammar. That is why, at the age of 6, I gave up what might have been a magnificent career as a painter. I'd been disheartened by the failure of my drawing number 1 and my drawing number 2. Grown-ups never understand anything by themselves, and it is tiresome for children to be always and forever explaining things to them. So then I chose another profession and learned to pilot airplanes. I have flown a little over all parts of the world, and it is true that geography has been very useful to me. At a glance, I can distinguish China from Arizona. If one gets lost in the night, such knowledge is valuable. In the course of this life, I have had a great many encounters, great many people who have been concerned with matters of consequence. I've lived a great deal among grown-ups. I've seen them intimately, close at hand, and it hasn't much improved my opinion of them. Whenever I met one of them who seemed to me all clear-sighted, I tried the experiment of showing him my drawing number one, which I have always kept. I would try to find out if this was a person of true understanding, but whoever it was, he or she would always say, "That is a hat." Then I would never talk to that person about boa constrictors or primeval forests or stars. I would bring myself down to his level. I would talk to him about bridge, golf, politics, and neckties, and the grown-ups would be greatly pleased to have met such a sensible man. Chapter 2. So, I lived my life alone, without anyone that I could really talk to, until I had an accident with my plane in the desert of Sahara 6 years ago. Something was broken in my engine. Ow. So I'm dying. Okay, that's not in the story.
Oh, okay.
Trying to bring you the story.
Okay, the little prince is dying. The end.
Uh,
Okay,
the
something
reader
was.
got bitten by a boa constrictor.
Yes, my right eye.
Deceased.
Okay, something was broken in my engine, and as I had with me neither a mechanic nor any passengers, I set myself to attempt the difficult repairs all alone. It was a question of life or death for me. I had scarcely enough drinking water to last a week. The first night, then, I went to sleep on the sand, 1,000 miles from any human habitation. I was more isolated than a shipwrecked sailor on a raft in the middle of the ocean. Thus, you can imagine my amazement at sunrise, when I was awakened by an odd little voice. It said, "If you please, draw me a sheep." What? Draw me a sheep? I jumped to my feet, completely thunderstruck. I blinked my eyes hard. I looked carefully all around me, and I saw a most extraordinary small person, who stood there examining me with great seriousness. Here you may see the best portrait that, later, I was able to make of him, but my drawing is certainly very much less charming than his model. That, however, is not my fault. The grown-ups discouraged me in my painter's career when I was 6 years old, and I never learned to draw anything except boas from the outside, boas from the inside. Now, I stared at this sudden apparition with my eyes fairly starting out of my head in astonishment. Remember, I had crashed in the desert 1,000 miles from any inhabited region, and yet my little man seemed neither to be straying uncertainly among the sands, nor to be fainting from fatigue or hunger or thirst or fear. Nothing about him gave any suggestion of a child lost in the middle of the desert, 1,000 miles from any human habitation. When at last I was able to speak, I said to him, "But what are you doing here?" And in great answer he repeated, very slowly, as if he were speaking of a matter of great consequence, "If you please, draw me a sheep." When a mystery is too overpowering, one dare not disobey. Absurd as it might seem to me, 1,000 miles from any human habitation, and in danger of death, I took out of my pocket a sheet of paper and my fountain pen. But then I remembered how my studies had been concentrated on geography, history, arithmetic, and grammar, and I told the little chap, a little crossly too, that I did not know how to draw. He answered me, "That doesn't matter, draw me a sheep." But I've never drawn a sheep, so I drew for him one of the two pictures I had drawn so often. It was that of the boa constrictor from the outside, and I was astounded to hear the little fellow greeted with, "No, no, no. I don't want an elephant inside a boa constrictor. Boa constrictor is a very dangerous creature, and an elephant is very cumbersome. Where I live, everything is very small. What I need is a sheep. Draw me a sheep." So then I made a drawing. He looked at it carefully and then said, "No, this sheep is already very sickly. Make me another one." So I made another drawing. My friend smiled gently and indulgently. "You see yourself," he said, "that is not a sheep. This is a ram. It has horns." So then I did my drawing over once more, but it was rejected too, just like the others. "This one is too old. I want a sheep that will live a long time." By this time my patience was exhausted because I was in a hurry to start taking my engine apart, so I tossed off this drawing, and I threw out an explanation with it. "This is only his box. The sheep you asked for is inside." I was very surprised to see a light break over the face of my young judge. "That is exactly what I wanted." "Oh, that is exactly the way I wanted it." "Do you think that the sheep will have to have a great deal of grass?" "Why?" "Because where I live, everything is very small." "There will surely be enough grass for him," I said. "It's a very small sheep that I have given you." He bent his head over the drawing. "Not so small then. Look, he has gone to sleep." And that is how I made the acquaintance of the little prince. Chapter 3. It took me a long time to learn where he came from. The little prince, who asked me so many questions, never seemed to hear the ones I asked him. It was from words dropped by chance that little by little everything was revealed to me. The first time he saw my airplane, for instance, "I shall not draw my airplane, that would be much too complicated for me." He asked me, "What is that object?" "That's not an object. It flies. It's an airplane. It's my airplane." And I was proud to have him learn that I could fly. He cried out then, "What? You dropped down from the sky?" "Yes," I answered modestly. "Oh, that's funny." And the little prince broke into a lovely peal of laughter, which irritated me very much. I like my misfortunes to be taken seriously. Then he added, "So you, too, come from the sky. Which is your planet?" At that moment I caught a gleam of light in the impenetrable mystery of his presence, and I demanded abruptly, "Do you come from another planet?" But he did not reply. He tossed his head gently without taking his eyes from my plane. "Is it true that on that you can have come from very far away?" Wait, okay. And he sank into a reverie, which lasted a long time. Then, taking my sheep out of his pocket, he buried himself in the contemplation of his treasure. You can imagine how my curiosity was aroused by this half confidence about the other planets. I made a great effort, therefore, to find out more on this subject. "My little man, where do you come from? What is this where I live, of which you speak? Where do you want to take your sheep?" After reflective silence, he answered, "The thing is, that is, the thing that is so good about the box you have given me is that at night he can use it as his house." "That is so, and if you are good, I will give you a string too, so they can tie him during the day, and a post to tie him to." But the little prince seemed shocked by this offer. "Tie him? What a queer idea!" "But if you don't tie him," I said, "he will wander off somewhere and get lost." My friend broke into another peal of laughter. "But where do you think he would go?" Anyway, straight ahead of him. Then the little prince said earnestly, "That doesn't matter. Where I live, everything is so small." And with perhaps a hint of sadness, he added, "Straight ahead of him, nobody can go very far." Chapter 4. I had thus learned a second fact of great importance. This was that the planet the little prince came from was scarcely any larger than a house. But that did not surprise me really. I knew very well that in addition to the great planets such as Earth, Jupiter, Mars, Venus, to which we have given names, there are also 100 of others, some of which are so small that one has a hard time seeing them through the telescope. When an astronomer discovers one of these, he does not give it a name, but only a number. You might call it, for example, asteroid 325. I have serious reason to believe that the planet from which the little prince came is the asteroid known as B612. This asteroid has only once been seen through this telescope. That was by a Turkish astronomer in 1909. On making his discovery, the astronomer had presented it to the International Astronomical Congress in a great demonstration, but he was in a Turkish costume, so nobody would believe what he said. Grown-ups are like that. Fortunately, however, for the reputation of the asteroid B612, a Turkish dictator made a law that his subjects, under pain of death, should change to European costume. So in 1920, the astronomer gave his demonstration all over again, dressed with impressive style and elegance. This time, everybody accepted his report. If I've told you these details about the asteroid and made a note of his number for you, it is on account of the grown-ups and their ways. When you tell them that you have made a new friend, they never ask you questions about essential matters. They never say to you, "What does his voice sound like? What games does he love? Does he collect butterflies?" Instead, they demand, "How old is he? How many brothers has he? How much does he weigh? How much money does his father make?" Only from these figures do they think they have learned anything about him. If you were to say to the grown-ups, "I saw a beautiful house made of rosy brick, with geraniums in the windows and doves on the roof," they would not be able to get any idea of the house at all. You would have to say, "I saw a house that cost $20,000. Then they would exclaim, "Oh, what a pretty house is that!" Just so, you might say to them, the proof that the little prince existed is that he was charming, that he laughed, and that he was looking for a sheep. If anyone wants a sheep, that is a proof that he exists. And what good would it do to tell them that? They would shrug their shoulders and treat you like a child. But if you said to them, "The planet he came from is asteroid B612, then they would be convinced and leave you in peace for their questions. They are like that. One must not hold it against them. Children should always show great forbearance towards grown-up people. But certainly, for us who understand life, figures are a matter of indifference. I should have liked to begin the story in the fashion of the fairy tales. I should have liked to say, "Once upon a time, there was a little prince who lived on a planet that was scarcely any bigger than himself, and who had need of a sheep." To those who understand life, that would have given such a much greater air of truth to my story. For I do not want anyone to read my book carelessly. I have suffered too much grief in setting down these memories. 6 years have already passed since my friend went away from me with his sheep. If I try to describe him here, it is to make sure that I shall not forget him. To forget a friend is sad. Not everyone has a friend. And if I forget him, I may become like the grown-ups who are no longer interested in anything but figures. It is for that purpose, again, that I've bought a box of paints and some pencils. It is hard to take up drawing again at my age, when I've never made any pictures except those of the boa constrictor from the outside and the boa constrictor from the inside since I was 6. I shall certainly try to make my portraits as true to life as possible, but I am not at all sure of my success. One drawing goes along all right, and another has no resemblance to the subject. I make some errors too, in the little prince's height. In one place he's too tall, and in another too short. And I feel some doubts about the colors of his costume, so I fumble along as best as I can. Now good, now bad, and I hope generally fair to middling. It is in certain more important details I shall make mistakes also, but that's something that will not be my fault. My friend never explained anything to me. He thought, perhaps, that I was like himself. But I, alas, do not know how to see sheep through the walls of boxes. Perhaps I'm a little like the grown-ups. I've had to grow old. Whew. Okay. Do I want to continue?
You're awake enough.
4 chapters is good. How long is this book?
I'm only at page...
Pretty long.
No,
Yeah, it's a pretty long book. But like,
85
it's good.
pages.
26 chapters.
27, because the last.
Right. Well, we can read a little bit at a time.
I think 4 chapters was enough for today.
Right.
Thanks for reading, Coons.
Hey, no problem. I think I woke up my folks.
Time to read them.
Yeah, take this PDF and read them back into sleep,
Sure. Fuck, I wanted to ask something, but I forgot. Okay, no, I completely forgot.
Alright. Gotta write it down next time.
Yeah. Oh no, I remember. Why exactly did you ask me to read this in particular?
Would you prefer to read Undertale fanfiction?
No, I think I'm done with
peeing. Porn.
I'm done peeing.
Because this is a good book and everyone should read it. And I have a copy of it.
Wait, the Sans Undertale?
No! No! The Little Prince.
Printed out that has Undertale porn, so you can read during class.
Fuck.
Oh yeah, I definitely printed out Undertale porn so I can bind it into a book and illustrate
20
the
cents
cover.
per page.
God.
I don't think children will be that thrilled about a story about a skeleton peeing himself.
I said not that. I'm talking about the Little Prince. God.
Okay, I've never read this book or actually know what this book is about.
Well, now's a good time to fucking learn.
Yeah.
It's a good
You'll find out along the way. So this is a
Apparently
good
it's about
intro
the
for you.
struggles of an artist. The struggles of an artist and functioning within a grown-up world.
Write that down for your dissertation.
Make sure it's MLA format, double space.
God.
Oh, Zaki gave me something. I don't know what.
Because you asked for the energy. So, stage 6.
Thank Dark also Where is
Who is
dark?
not in this server?
Yeah, send my regards.
So I'm expecting stage 6 Dongo
Oh, well, you
tomorrow.
know, I still needed Varian stones and a shitload of moonstones. But you
Time
know,
to buy them all.
once I get enough, I'm gonna go straight to stage
What
6.
the fuck?
Sorry, that was a motorcycle.
Okay, so she's actually near the highway. Like, are you
I
volunteering
my
to
my
clean
house
up?
is my house is on the street. Coogs. Have I
it's
not
It's
it's
told you?
on
it,
the street, like
it's
it's in
in
the
I
the
middle of
live
the
in front of
middle.
a
street.
bus
Oh,
stop.
you know that one song, "Our House in the Middle
In the
of the
middle
Street."
of this, yeah, sure. Yeah, that's my house. Right in the middle.
That's you.
Mhm.
That song was made about your living situation.
Yes.
That reminds me of that one house that is built literally like in the middle of a road because like when they
Was it
constructed
the
the
cheese
freeway,
one?
which
I
one?
think it
Yeah,
was
yeah,
like
yeah. It was like they
it,
they wanted to tear the area down for development, but then that house
yeah.
didn't want to get put down, so like they had to build around the house.
Oh, I
That's
remember reading
Mai's
that.
that's Mai's house, basically.
Yeah.
Every time
Fuck
you
Well,
hear
I
your
remember she was
motorcycle.
trying.
construction. Let me live where I built my house from the ground up. Fuck your developments.
It once in a while you just have a motorcycle crashing through your window.
Just stopping by,
Mm-hmm.
grabbing a donut for my kitchen.
And drive through home. Your mom having a fresh apple pie every morning for not pedestrians. What do you call them?
For the drivers.
Drivers to
Yeah.
For
pick
the
up.
and also for the pedestrians. What happened to wander in the middle
Just
of
in the
the road?
middle of the street.
Like, you know, when they're jaywalking, like,
Yeah,
oh,
they can do
Yeah.
let me
side to
just pick
side.
this up real quick.
Yeah, yeah. I was trying to mute myself on so that Goose could read without me clicking.
Yeah.
But then I realized that my the recording was not muted and it still picked up
Oh.
my clicking noise. I'm like, okay.
Alright. Yeah,
Well,
just muted for us.
yeah, you're gonna hear me slamming on the keyboard, clicking shit. Yep.
So yeah, you probably were like louder in that time too.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Just punching my fucking keyboard.
Adds to the experience.
I think there's another short story.
Are you still recording?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
Jesus.
we're hearing all that train noise, all that.
All that clicking.
All that good. This is ASMR content.
So it's semi-clicking. Maya's orchestrating a fucking traffic jam.
And you're narrating some other story.
At fucking 4 a.m. So you got that low voice, you know.
Your sensual Bugui voice.
Voice.
Hmm?
No, this is not my sensual voice. What the fuck? This is my I gotta be quiet, but I'm still wearing headphones, so I'm kinda loud voice. No, it's the voice. You remember that one clip I made? No. I was on Millie's account, and then we made a clip to show how
The
stupid it
T-pose.
was when. Yeah, the T pose.
And you were like, Millie.
Millie! Cook's yelling at Millie at MP4 or something.
Kugui
That
yelling
one.
at Billy.mp4. That was the file name.
Shit. Where is it? Is it somewhere on the server?
I think it's pinned somewhere.
Yeah, it should be pinned in there, but I don't
Pinned
remember.
in general. Christ, I haven't
It
looked
might
at
be
the
pinned in
server.
voice.
Yeah, it might be. Or it might be in BNS too.
Oh, it's not pinned in voice.
No, in voice it's I'm pussy. Oh, and the top 10 saddest anime deaths. Oh my god, these.
It's almost time again. BNS loading screen art.
Oh, that's
Oh my
true.
god.
I can't
Alright, Semi, are
wait.
you gonna join?
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna try. If I
Yeah,
can just
Sammy, you
fucking
gotta finish
finish
that.
my entry. Like, I had to redo my entry because it's not very loading screeny. So I'm like, okay, guess I'm doing another one. So it's more
You
loading
remember the one with
screen.
the
I can't wait to lose
dumplings?
again.
The one with the dumplings was really nice. Like, if you could do something with the background, like make it
Resubmit.
loading screenier.
Resubmit, but like add more characters in the back, and then the rendering style will all be different because it's drawn at different times.
Ooh. Just do the recolor of it.
God.
I've slide the sliders around.
Everything's like blue tinted or something, like MSP colors.
Oh, Semi, what is this I'm hearing about you getting a new monitor?
Oh, Sushi had an extra monitor, so she's gonna
Oh,
send it to me next week. She said.
wow.
So I'm gonna get an upgrade, but I can't wait to have it
Finally.
here and be like, wow, I fucking hate it.
You're gonna have that
Everything.
increased quality of life.
Yeah, like my monitor is so fucking old. I don't know how old my monitor is, but it's
The
doing it's
1960s.
it's one step above the monitors with like the back end, but mine's flat screen.
Oh, it's like a
The
flat
Yeah.
square.
screen,
It's
then fat.
Yeah, it's pretty thick. I'm pretty sure I could kill someone with this because it's pretty heavy. I can barely lift it, but yeah. So it's like the square monitor with the matted screen surface, and like I'm so used to coloring on this surface or like on this screen that I don't know if I get a new screen, it's gonna fuck up with my coloring because I'm not gonna be able to understand like what are
It
these new
will.
colors.
Every screen has its own like standard saturation, all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like
And
when I swapped from my old screen to this ultra wide one, the colors suddenly got way more intense,
mm-hmm.
and it took me like a week or two to adjust to this because the screen also keeps flickering because of a special mode. No, I kept it because it's nice, but
You
if you're
kept the
like,
flickering in.
okay, no, so
Oh,
like it flickers because I put it on gaming mode.
Mm-hmm.
So like whenever you go into areas with different lighting and shit, you don't really get that much eye strain, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm like looking on the internet or whatever, like a
Game
white
mode
background, like
applied.
if I'm
on
googling,
Orcub.
yes, or Cub. No, but like if I'm looking at any website with light colors, like light static colors, I just
Mm-hmm.
see different shades of it every 5 seconds.
Damn.
Like if I go to Google, it's one time it's like eggshell, the other time it's like fucking peppermint toothpaste. I don't fucking know.
Making sure you don't strain your eyes on Google.com.
Google
Yeah.
has murdered my family. It's destroying my eyesight.
Get that off-white Google.
Get, get that off white Google. Premium Google for the Gucci. I'm gonna have to clear my desk too, so I can have two monitors. I don't know.
Yeah.
Dual
You
wheels,
gotta
a
clean
dual
your
Dual,
screen.
fucking
dual
desk.
screen. Both are different
Time
resolution.
to click out of BNS.
Oh, I can't wait to click out of BNS into Pornhub.com.
Time to switch
Stop
to
this.
32-bit then.
Yep. Can't fucking wait. I mean, like, with two screen, I'll be able to have, like, a reference image up on one screen and draw on the other screen. So I don't have to fucking paste the art
You know
into
what else
the
you can do with one
canvas.
screen? So get your reference image, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, then you print it,
Oh, print it? Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I
Oh,
see.
So you
right.
print it,
Uh-huh.
and
Uh,
then
And
this
then,
is the most important part.
right?
You paste it onto your computer screen and then draw.
oh,
Oh. Oh,
oh, I
you're
see.
right. I see.
On your second screen.
Yes.
Tips on how
That
to
way,
use one screen. Paste
you
this
can
image on your
practice.
second screen.
You have your practice. You have your reference. You have your tracing.
Yes,
Just
yes.
all in one.
Right, right.
Like all
Plus
in
your
one.
second screen.
Only
You're
good
right.
things.
I understand. I'll implement that now. So would anyone
Yeah.
would like to send me printer ink? That would be nice.
Mm-hmm.
With every order that you order
Shit,
from
just
me.
use your markers. Use the ink out of your
Markers.
markers.
Your
Yeah.
crayons.
I just put my crayons in the printer and then it's gonna print out in crayons. Only.
Exactly.
You put your melted crayons in there.
Alright, you gotta melt it first.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Art hacks with Kagui.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
My hat. What?
Art hacks.
Oh yeah, your hat, Ku.
Your
My
hat
hat.
cooks.
That's a hat, right?
Yes.
Oh,
Nice
fuck.
hat.
For you it is.
I went to Dollar Tree today because I had to buy some folders, and then this old
Mhm.
lady was like standing in the stationery area,
She
and I thought
died.
she was dying. I thought she was dying, and I'm like, who? I'm like, oh god, I hope this lady doesn't die because I really need to access the stationery.
Wait, but what did she do then? Like, did she?
She was like coughing, and she had like a breathing device on, like
Oh
with the
yeah, yeah.
oxygen tube, and I'm like, oh please don't die on me, please.
No folders for you.
Yeah, it's like first of all, please don't fucking die on me. And then she was behind me in the checkout too, and I'm like, oh god, why?
Like, if she
What?
dies, there's a 50% chance she would fall over you.
I mean, she was shorter than I was, so. But I mean, like, I don't. Whenever I'm in public and there's old people next to me, I feel like they're gonna die next to me, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like, I'm always preparing myself for old people to just
For
die
death.
right next to me,
You
and I'm
gotta
like,
have that 911 on speed
yeah.
dial.
I'm just holding on to my phone, like, and this person, as soon as they die, I'm gonna call the police. And
You're
then,
gonna call the police because they died.
yeah,
Like, hello,
yeah,
911.
yeah.
This lady had the guts to fucking kick the bucket
Right
in
next.
my
I need you to
space.
come over here and revive this person so I can reprimand them
Rest,
accordingly.
Kick
please.
their ass. Just drag a corpse to court. Like,
Not
this bitch.
like I remember watching this fucking drama about this one medical student that basically saved this person's life, but then that person sued the medical student, and I'm like,
Oh yeah, that happens.
and I'm like,
If
wow.
if you don't have the proper qualifications, they can like sue you over that. So that's why like they advise you to get like your
To
what's
call
it called,
911. Is
CPR.
USA really
Yeah,
that
yeah. Like if you
strict?
don't have if you're not certified for CPR and you do it on somebody, they can sue you.
That's why there was like a CPR class so that you can
How
get like a
how
CPR certificate.
ungrateful.
I know, right? So like every time some old lady comes next to me, I'm like, oh shit, if they die, I'm just gonna step aside. Can they sue me for like not catching them?
I think there's also like you can get in trouble for
Yeah, you can also get in trouble for
not
not
doing
helping.
anything. I
Yeah.
don't quite know all the
God.
laws in regards
So I
to
guess
We need a ping
nine
law student in our server.
bleach.
shit. But calling
Our
911 is actually
local lawyer.
Hey, I need some clarification on but yeah, basically that's all that goes on through my head. Like if I don't help, I'm gonna get sued. If I help, I'm gonna get
really.
sued.
I'm always afraid old people start talking to me because for some reason, like anyone over 50 just has the urge to talk to me.
To tell you what a handsome young man you are.
Exactly. It's so weird.
Do they give you candies too?
Why aren't you using this to your advantage to hook up with some rich old lady?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah, come on now.
well, okay, no, there's just one time I really thought I was being how do you say it? I was being
hit on?
cougared. I was preyed on.
Yes.
Right.
Shit. No, I was like
Yeah,
16 or
cougar.
17, right?
Okay.
Damn.
And I was seeing this therapist because I was a stupid boy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, no, I was having trouble at school
Mm-hmm.
and myself. And at one point, I don't know, it was like 2 years in seeing this lady, and it just suddenly felt really awkward, as if she wanted something more from me. She always. She
Hmm.
wanted to connect on a very personal and emotional level with me.
My therapist wanted to connect on a personal level with me.
Connect.
And I know I was just really uncomfortable.
Why
Yeah.
did you stop seeing her?
Well, I stopped seeing her because I had no money. No, how
I
I don't
guess.
want to be too rude in case I completely
Yeah, you're.
misunderstood. I,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say anything else, but it just always seemed like she was ready for like the way her body language, I guess, kind of was a bit too open for the situation we were in.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm talking about traumatic experiences, and she's like, "Oh, really?"
Mm.
And then at one point, we were talking about future, whatever, and she starts talking about her childhood and how she grew up, as if I was a therapist. I don't know. Like
you're
she's telling.
you're you're paying. You gotta pay her to be your to be her
Oh my
therapist.
god.
Yeah.
No, but she was talking about how much of a fun gal she was. She had nice friends. She went to
Mm-hmm.
middle school, high school, whatever, and then she went to college, university multiple times. She had fun, but like
She's like
fun
putting out
with
her
the
Tinder profile out there for you.
Jesus Christ. I don't know. This is when Tinder didn't exist, by the way.
This is a real life Tinder.
Back in the old
God.
days when there was no Tinder.
This was like 5, 6 years ago,
Back in
so
the old days when there was no Tinder, we just go to our therapist for hookups.
Yeah.
no. I don't know. I probably just completely misunderstood her intentions. Maybe she was trying to be nice.
Maybe she was trying to relate with the kids.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
Trying to be
But
hip.
I just didn't feel comfortable at all. And I just
Yeah.
partly didn't want to see her anymore, so I left. And the other part was it was too fucking expensive, and I think I had to pay like 1,000
Mm-hmm.
euros for whatever I had that year that wasn't covered by insurance. If I say 1,000, that probably doesn't sound like anything to you guys.
I mean, 1,000's still a lot.
Yeah, it's still a lot. I mean,
I was like a huge amount for us, but then I realized that you guys actually have to pay for dying.
yeah.
You guys have to pay for
You don't have to pay for
whatever.
dying.
No,
Huh?
you just die. That's it.
Interesting.
Like
Interesting. You don't
what I
pay to die?
imagine, what I imagine the
What?
US is like
Want
having
to buy
fucking
dying?
fees. Like, oh,
Yeah, you gotta have like.
are you planning on dying? Mm-mm-mm, not until you fill in the form and pay our
I
entry
mean,
fee.
you do have life
Entry fee there.
insurance. Mm-hmm.
Sign up for our beginners packet, or you could sign up for premium founders pack. You know,
Buy
Dying.
5 founders packages for that.
founders pack or that.
I was there first.
Give this nice title.
Jesus Christ. Come on, I always get
When you go to hell,
terrified.
you can get some achievement points.
I always get terrified whenever I hear stories about people in the US actually not seeking medical help because they might as well just die
Yeah,
instead.
yeah. There's like that. That's actually like there
Yeah.
was a time where I was fucking really sick. Like I cannot get up from the fucking floor at all. And then we called the doctors, and it's like, oh, sorry, doctors is away. If it does get worse, like you can just call the emergency room. And I'm like, you know what? I'll just lay here. I just fucking lay here. And I lay there for like what, 3 days, and then I kind of slowly got better.
And then you died.
And then I died. I'm
Yeah.
currently speaking to you through my premium subscription to let me contact the real world.
So
This is like
you
the
got that
premium
tutorial?
Ouija experience.
So
No, but I read an article on that shit site that was something like Texas teacher dies because the fucking medicine for her illness were too expensive.
yeah.
I mean, how
I mean,
bad must you have it then? And then I realized a few years ago that the view we get from doctors in Europe, or at least in the Netherlands, is very US centric and doesn't resemble at all how it actually is. Because I'm always afraid to go to the GP or whatever, any doctor, because it would cost me like millions of dollars,
Yeah,
euros or whatever.
like 1 day of stay in the fucking hospital here is like hundreds of thousands of
yeah.
dollars, and I'm like, wow, y'all can just lay me on the floor. I mean,
I think most of that is gonna be covered by insurance with us. Like going to
yeah, but
the
then there are people who do not have insurance, and that shit
Hmm.
happens.
no,
And
but that's the thing. Everyone here is basically required to have insurance.
mm-hmm,
They are expected to be prepared for life.
prepared for that. Yeah, I mean that's why you have people with GoFundMe or whatever for fucking funerals.
That is really
because
sad.
because after you die, it's like, oh, you gotta do all this shit, and I'm just like, when I die, just burn me,
Just bury me in the backyard.
or throw me in the
Yeah.
trash. I don't fucking
Throw
care
me.
because I'm gonna be dead. Like I'm not gonna even care that what you do with my body after. I'm gonna be in a premium subscription in the afterlife. I
Do
bought
you
my
guys
founders
have
pack.
your found spec? Yes. Do you guys have like an option where you can say if you're willing to donate your body for science after you die?
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
think there's that option.
And
You can do organ
organ
donation. Yeah,
donors.
organ donors.
I was thinking because that was something big that happened this week in the Netherlands. They passed a law where it says, yes, I want to donate my body after I die by default.
Oh,
And apparently a lot of people are against that for whatever fucking reason. I mean, no, okay, I understand if they want the body to be whole.
yeah. I mean, like with some people,
Yeah, some
especially
people
with
that.
families, who still have living family, who are not nihilist.
But
People who think that they'll be able to observe themselves after death would want to keep their bodies intact.
what? No, I
Yeah.
actually
There's like
always
religious
wanted.
purposes.
It's like, oh, even after I die, I like to have a dignified death, but like you're gonna be
What the
dead,
heck?
you're gonna be shitting
Well,
yourself.
I guess you get the open casket, be like goodbye corpse, and
Yeah.
then the
And
body, instead of the body getting buried, it just gets sent to the laboratory or whatever.
somebody else get to dissect you. They do that for medical students, right? Like they would have cadavers,
Hmm.
I don't know,
and
but the first time I had this, uh, like announced, how do you call it? Like the first time people told me about this, I was in X grade because I don't fucking know what your grades are in my country.
No, X
I
grade.
was like
on some
14 or
redacted grade.
15. I was like
Let's
14
say.
or 15 when people started sending out letters, like the government started sending out letters with information about becoming a donor.
Mm-hmm.
And I think from then, I already decided I will. And I always thought it was weird that people were so not obsessive, but like, why are they afraid
I mean, some
of giving,
religion
like,
stuff. I mean, it could be religion related too.
I
About
I
some
mean, if it
Wait,
gets
for,
religion.
for,
buried
for being a donor?
underground, boner.
Wait, what?
Boner?
Donor? Hello?
Stoner? Hello?
Yes,
I hear
donor?
stoner, boner. Which one is it?
Donor.
Are you
Oh,
talking about donor or being like your whole body to science?
Oh yeah, those are two different things. One, you actually like give your
Yeah.
entire body so that they could do like research or like cut you up, and then the other one is they
mm,
only take parts of you
is
for
Yeah.
it? I think
to.
how they did it. I might be bullshitting right now, but from what I remember, you have several options,
Mhm.
but the ones that say yes usually say I donate my body to whatever science after
Yeah.
I die. Then you have that you agree. Then you have that after you die, someone that like loved ones will decide for you,
Mhm.
or you say no.
Yeah. Oh, I get. I would just leave somebody else to decide for me. It's like
Yeah, sure.
you get to have my flesh back now. Now that
Right?
I'm gone.
You own my flesh. Have fun with it.
Have fun with it. Scatter it or don't.
Yeah. Whatever,
Just
I
do
don't
something
care.
with it.
Whatever. Throw it in the trash. You don't need it.
Hmm.
Eat it up.
Recycle.
Sell my body on the black market so that you
On
may
eBay.
make some cash monies off of it. It's all
Hmm.
good.
That'll be useful for one.
Yeah, I'll actually make some money for once. So fucking on New Year's, um, I almost had to call my grandparents to wish them a happy New Year, and then it's not just a happy New Year's. You had to say something like, "Oh, for the New Year's, I hope you have good health and blah blah
I
blah."
hope you die.
Oh, if I say that, I'm
They
gonna
have
get
to.
slapped straight to hell. I'm gonna get my soul slapped right out of my body.
Not premium.
But but like every year, I would have to say something like it has to sound, poetic too.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, man, every year I just want to wish you health and stuff like that. You just replay what I told you from last year. But yeah, they didn't pick up, so I'm like, phew, nice, good stuff. I don't have to say this bullshit again. That's the worst part. But like in return, you do get money. But I don't know. Is it worth it?
Hmm.
Yes.
Yeah,
Money
yeah,
for
that
just
is.
talking? Yes.
Yeah, of course.
But I mean,
I,
they should have given me money either way. Just saying. Just saying.
True,
Mhm.
true.
Suddenly, I don't know how to speak anymore. Can you just deliver it to my mailbox, please?
give me money for my throat surgery.
For this New Year's, I want to be able to talk again.
Yeah.
I wish Eastern European culture was like this. I would like free money.
So then, once you hit a certain age slash
Uh-huh.
marriage thing,
Then I have to
you
And
give
have
them
to
then
money.
you
be,
have to
yeah.
give out money.
Hmm.
Okay, so what's
Especially if
that
you have a big
age?
family.
I mean, basically, if you are older or, you feel generous, I guess.
Mhm. Pretty much like if you're older
Yeah, if
and
you're
like
older,
have like a stable job,
mm-hmm,
they like
you
expect
gotta
you to
accept.
be
Okay,
like,
so
oh, I'll hand
as
that
long as
money.
I don't work and I live with my parents, I'm entitled.
Hmm.
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 Yes.
So basically,
Possibly.
like
You
any
probably have to help your parents pass them out then, at the very least.
I collect my New Year's envelope because sometimes they have nice designs on them, and then sometimes my
Yeah.
parents would come in and be like, "Sammy, give me. I know I gave
Hmm.
you money in that envelope, but I need that envelope back." And I'm like,
Yeah, same. They'll use it again for next year or something.
Yeah,
I still have a lot too. I just
yeah.
like
Do,
stuff them in
do
each
you get
other
two
and stick
dollar
them somewhere.
bills? Do you get $2 bills?
Yes,
I have a
that's the only
stack of
time.
$2 bills in my fucking
Yeah, that's the
drawer.
only time you get $2 ever.
And like the
There's $2 bills.
there's
Yeah.
$2 bill. And like I read somewhere that the $2 bill actually does make up like a percentage of the US money, but is rarely in circulation, but people because people just fucking hoard them up and it
Yeah.
never gets put into fucking circulation. And not only that, like people tend to give you money and it's like nice money. Like the $2 bills are really nice $2 bills. So when you bring that shit out and then you give it to someone to buy shit, they think it's fake.
Yep.
They
Wait,
think
don't you
it's
guys have like the scanner?
yeah, but some places don't have like any ways to check the bill. And then you would give this $2 bill to someone, and the cash register person just like, what is this fake? And they gotta call somebody else out to check if $2
Can't
bill
they
is
bite on
real.
it? You know how they
Bite?
test
Oh right.
coins to see if it's real? Like, just bite on the paper.
Oh yeah,
If
What?
it
Yeah,
bends,
sure.
just put it in your mouth,
Yeah,
chew
it's
on it a
paper
little. Yeah, just nibble the edge of
it's
the
obviously
of the
fake.
bill. Just nibble a little on the edge of the bill, and you'll be able to know. Oh, God.
exactly.
Hmm.
Tell Millie used to do that when she goes to work next time. To nibble on the dollars that she gets.
Yeah, it feels fake, just nibble on it a little. Use
Mm-hmm.
your senses because
Your taste bud.
yeah. Capitalism has equipped us with all the ability to taste fake bills.
Yes.
Therefore, all of us Americans are able to distinguish fake bills from real bills just by nibbling on the paper.
Yes. Our inborn talents.
Hmm.
Once you step on the mainland.
Uh-huh. So if you like to try this talent, come over here to the U.S.
Join the U.S. clan for this benefit.
Mm-hmm. Cool. What's your fine ass doing up this late?
I
To
don't know.
find
I
a
can't
shut.
sleep. You want a shot?
Shut?
Shut
Shot?
almost.
Hello? Do you need
Are you planning to
us?
sleep or are you
Do
staying
you
up
need
like?
us to read some snaz porn to
Oh
put you to
yeah.
sleep?
What else put you to sleep?
Put me to sleep. Are you gonna fucking murder me?
Violently.
Just take me down.
One way or another. Mai's gonna read and I'm just gonna be hitting you
Clicking.
repeatedly with a bat. Put you to
Good
sleep.
fucking night.
Good fucking night.
I don't think I'm gonna sleep tonight.
You're just gonna stay up till morning and then sleep in the morning or what?
No, I need to
Another
get things
24
done
hours.
still.
You gotta
Like, I
get.
finally, and this might sound really silly, but I finally got to cleaning up my room
Oh
after
shit.
Oh,
after
wow.
2-3 years of
Well, to be honest, my room hasn't been cleaned since last New Year's.
Yeah, my room is pretty messy still,
Yeah,
so.
you're talking to someone
Good
who
job,
hasn't. Yeah,
Coots.
God, I haven't cleaned my room. And Mai has a fucking cockroach cup until someone moved
No,
it.
it's gone.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Someone else moved the
You
cockroach.
didn't clean that shit up. Somebody else did.
Well, to be fair, I'm barely at the house, so.
Mai got a
no.
fucking roach underneath that cup.
What the fuck?
Hmm.
Remember the cup roach?
You don't remember the cup roach, Mai?
No?
Okay,
Oh,
Mai. Tell me about the
well,
cup roach.
pretty much. There was a fucking cockroach, like, on my floor, so I put a cup on it. And I didn't feel like, putting the paper under and, like, sliding it out. So I kind of just left it there
Yeah.
for, like, months. Until, like, and it's at my parents' house. So I, like, came back one weekend and it was cleaned up. so someone else did that for me. But every now and then I would like check under, and it'd be like decomposing. I sent you guys snaps of it. But yeah.
Sometimes I just open the cup to check up on the fucking decomposition process. And
See how
eventually,
many
Was it-
legs are left?
eventually it turned into dust and just kind of got blown away.
But was it decomposed? Yes or no?
Well,
It
I
was
mean,
falling
it was all
apart.
dried up and falling apart. Yeah.
Jesus.
And then someone finally
No.
cleaned it up. Not mine, but
Yeah.
somebody.
What the fuck? No, the only thing I encountered so far are well, I told you about the silverfish
Yeah.
things that live in
Nasty.
Western Europe, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and a few spiders.
Mm-hmm.
Like today I was cleaning under my bed. It was really fucking dusty, and then I just lift up a box and like I think two spiders came crawling out.
Oh,
Luckily, I was armed with
a
a
hand?
vacuum cleaner.
Oh.
No, a vacuum cleaner. So I just sucked them
Okay.
up.
What?
Just
That is not dead. God.
well, it was trapped then at the very least.
I have those Dyson
Doubt.
vacuum cleaners, so
Dude.
I think they're dead.
The sock is too
I
strong.
Just
think
suck
they're
the
pretty
fucking
much
air.
dead.
I don't have an
They don't
underside of the
like
bed, so which that is one good thing. I don't
Yeah,
have like a under the bed kind of thing, so it's one good thing. Or else steak would probably get stuck underneath it.
probably.
Yeah,
Get all dusty and then get on you.
yeah, God. There was. I already told you guys this, but there's like a hole next to my fucking bed that leads
Bed?
outside,
Yeah.
and like sometimes the ants would come up and party on my bed, and I
Mhm.
would sleep, and the fucking ant would bite me on the fucking eyelids. God, that's the
What?
fucking worst.
Wait, ants are biting you on the eyelids.
Yes,
What kind of ants do you have?
the mean ones. The mean ones. The black ants, actually. People are like, oh, black ants don't bite. Yes, they do. God, come to my house. Come to my fucking house.
Lie in my bed.
Lie in my
Play with these
bed.
ants.
Get bitten by ants right on the fucking ass cheeks or whatever. Like, I don't have like food on my bed, so like they just kind of get lost. Because like if there was food on my bed, then it would be actually a lot of them on there, trying to access the food. But once in a while, it's just like one or two stray ants. Like they're getting lost.
They're investigating.
They're just getting lost and then fucking biting me.
Didn't you try to plug up that hole once?
Yeah, I
That
did.
work?
Yeah, I went outside and then the hole isn't there anymore. I'm like, huh? Hello? What? Suddenly, there's just no fucking hole out here. Also, my fucking, sometimes there'll be noises inside my wall, and I don't know what the fuck that is.
Oh yeah, the scratching noises?
Yeah, the scratching noise or like something chewing on something, and I'm like, what the fuck? I have no idea what these animals are like.
It's the fucking roach curse.
God, the roach is cursing me. Animals infesting my homes, playing bongos in the morning, geese landing on my fucking roof at 6 a.m. Do you have
Good
that?
morning.
Do you have that? Like geese landing on your fucking roof? Because
Not me.
God. Because like, I guess since the winter season is over. Is it over? Well, fuck if I know, but they would be landing on my fucking roof, and I have no idea what they do up there. They just honk at each other for an hour.
Yeah.
They just honk back and forth at each other, and I'm just lying here staring at the ceiling like, God fucking damn it! What the hell is going on up there? So they just stand up there and honk. It's so
They're
fucking
screaming
loud.
at the sun.
And then they would leave, Like, I have never seen any of these. I have no idea what they fucking look like, but holy shit, they're loud as. They're just so fucking loud. especially when I go to bed like really fucking late and I really need all the sleep I can get. Here comes the
You going to
geese.
bed half an hour before the geese come?
Yeah. And the geese come and they just fucking honk it up and then ditches. So I never get to confront them.
Someone tried to assassinate me at the spinning wheels, but they were too low of a level, and I just had 50% health left. That was so strange.
Oh god, I put on fucking fashion outfit yesterday. Like, it's one of the fashion outfit that nobody fucking wears. The opposing one, you know the one in Sky Haven. Yeah, Sky Haven, the white one.
Or you want to say suddenly someone of the opposite faction just attacked
Yeah,
you?
they just put on that fucking outfit just to beat my ass. And like the funny thing is, when I signed off, it didn't look like I was dead. Like, but then Mai was standing next to me, and Mai was like, "Semi, did you see that?" I'm like, "See what?" It's like somebody killed you, and I'm like, "Oh, well." When I logged off, I wasn't dead.
Whoopsies.
But yeah, I loaded in, and it's like Rome has died, and I'm like, okay, I see.
Yeah, immediately. Fucking sniped as you were exiting the server.
And like since it took me so long to load in, as soon as I load in, I was back up again. So, because Mai was raising me.
It's 7 a.m. here and I haven't slept either. Okay.
Go to bed.
No, all these people here at the wheels are so dramatic.
Oh fucking! I keep on telling myself I was gonna measure my fingers so I could get a ring.
Measure you? Okay.
Cause
I thought you meant like length.
Yeah, measuring
I was
the
gonna
length.
measure
Well,
my
actually, yeah,
finger so I could tell people how long my fingers are.
I mean,
How far you can get when you pick your nose.
I'll let you know in centimeters and inches. But yeah, I like having things around my fingers. But the thing is, like, my finger at the base of the finger is actually thinner than my joints. So I think the thing I should be measuring is how big my joints are. So if I do get a ring, it would be able to go past the joints to go down onto like the finger base. You know that joint that is right, so that it would be knuckle and then that one joint. Yeah. So that's the joint that I had to fucking figure out how big that. Cause like, if that ring were to actually fit the base of my finger, then it might actually have a hard time going over that bone part.
Yeah, so you, at the very least it has to fit on that.
But then it would be loose when it slides down to the base of my finger.
Time to put like some, I don't know, tape on your fingers below the ring. So like it'll go over the joint, but your finger will be thicker because of that tape.
Guess so. I used to have this one ring that I liked, but then since it was like big, I had to like put paddings on the inside of the ring so that it actually fits on my finger. But now like I can't even do that because my fingers have gotten really like a lot thinner.
Fucking bony hands.
Yes, it's bone hands now. Snaz Undertale has bone hands. Sorry, I'm not thick bones. I'm just bone.
Your phalanges. Are you still recording this?
Oh, yeah. Well, I guess I could end it here and tell everyone to give me money. Hey, everyone, give me money so I can give it to my fellow friends here so that Bugui can go to a therapist to talk about his old therapist.
No, I'm fine. You guys are my therapists.
Yeah, so fly over to meet his therapist.
Oh, right. I guess I'll pay Mai for your therapy. Alright, thanks for listening. Tune in next time for Bugui reads the next section.
No, what the fuck? It's like 800 more chapters.
Well, you gotta fucking read this, okay? You gotta fucking do it.
21.
Okay, well, I guess this podcast is gonna be like 18 episodes just for me.
Yeah. You know,
neat.
We gotta elongate the these the season before the finale.
Season 1 of Soup.
Tune in next time
Tune
for
in
tomato
next
soup.
time.
Mm-mm.